A pontiff is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. And that pontiff, Pope Leo XIV, the man behind the desk at the Vatican, just released the first major theological document of his papacy. 43,000 words on the topic of artificial intelligence. And the takeaway? Stop, you absolute lunatics, you're going to ruin humanity. And the best quote here, no algorithm can make war morally acceptable. And the literary citation he used, Gandalf. The Pope cited Gandalf the Wizard from Lord of the Rings about AI. Somewhere, the very Catholic and somehow even more Lord of the Rings obsessed Stephen Colbert is having a stroke and or a simultaneous orgasm, a strokegasm, if you will. I mean, the Pope has now gone full Frodo at the Council of Elrond.
Artificial intelligence needs to be disarmed. The word is strong, I know, but deliberately chosen because this moment needs words capable of attracting attention, awakening consciences, and indicating paths forward for humanity.
And just so you know, I'm going to tell you, I am not completely anti-AI. Why? Because AI is a broad brush. It's a buzzword. I've said this before, my washing machine, my search engine, YouTube, all claim to be powered by AI. But what does that mean? And look, I talk with a friend of mine all the time who has a doctorate in computer programming, and he sees this. He sees the code. And he claims for the most part, AI is just more effective search code. Yes, AI can simply mean a better search engine, a research assistant. It can help a doctor read a scan, and it can process data quicker. None of that is the existential threat in my mind. None of that is exactly the One Ring. Because AI, whatever you term AI to be, if it's used ethically by a human who's still doing the work, it's just a tool. It's like a construction worker using a more ergonomic hammer. But what I am against, what the Pope is against, what Gandalf would be against if he had 6 to 8 minutes of your time on YouTube, is when corporate America puts profits over people. And that is where dangerous AI comes into play. When you have generative AI getting used to replace human voices, when tech billionaires show up to your county commission meeting stroking checks to buy up everything around a proposed data center, like Saruman clear-cutting Fanghorn to fuel his industrial murder mill. Or when American government officials, the people who are supposed to be protecting your air, your water, your land, and your dignity, are the ones that are also closing on the real estate deals next to those data centers and then rolling back all the environmental regulations. That is the danger of AI. Just look at Louisiana, Richland Parish. There's a state senator there named John J. Morris. Senator Morris is also a Republican attorney, and he's not exactly Bilbo Baggins. There have been a lot of investigations into Senator Morris that show that over 2 years, he helped pave the way for Meta to build one of the world's largest data centers in his home parish. The project called Hyperion. Enormous. It's loud. It is dusty. And to me, it's Isengard with a Cajun accent. And it has been going up in a rural community. Your basic Shire folk just trying to live where the locals have been complaining for over a year about air quality, dust, and the relentless truck traffic on their once quiet rural roads. Senator Morris, by the way, also bought 7 properties within 5 miles of this future Meta data center, right after Meta's December 2024 announcement, plus another 165 acres about 10 miles away that he sold to Entergy, the utility that will provide power to that data center. Then, as if that weren't enough, he co-sponsored 2 bills enabling the land deal between Meta and the state of Louisiana. Then he voted yes on 2 more bills that gave Meta more tax breaks. And then, on top of all of that, he personally acted like Grima Wormtongue and lobbied a utility regulator for a key approval, which, helped his own surrounding land become more valuable. And reporters asked him about it. They confronted him, and his quote was, "I haven't done anything wrong," which is a great way of saying, I'm not denying that I did all of this, and I'm not denying that it's harmful, but F off, you can't touch me because all of it was legal. Then look in Memphis. XAI built a data center next to a historically black neighborhood that already had the worst air quality in the state of Tennessee. Northern Virginia, data centers sprouting anywhere up in the lower income areas where property values were already low. Louisiana, Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma, over and over and over again, it's the poor and minority communities that are railroaded while the billionaires and the AI backers win. And look, the Pope's warning on AI, it's not new, it's not unique, because the people building the AI have done the same damn thing with every previous wave of industrial growth. And they're about to do it again, only this time with the entire water table of our country at stake. One does not simply walk into our aquifer. Okay, that one was a stretch. But this one's not, because the Gollum-in-Chief, Donald Trump, signed a national security presidential memorandum instructing the DOJ to target anyone that holds anti-American, anti-Christian, or anti-capitalist beliefs. So you got Donald Trump side-eyeing dissenters the way that Bilbo eyed the Sackville Bagginses at his birthday party. But wait, there's even more. Because what's going to happen with this activation from the president? Wired magazine got its hands on more than 1,000 pages of DHS and FBI reports flagging a brand new category of domestic threat, which they call anti-tech violent extremism. That anti-capitalist stuff that Donald Trump was talking about. And according to the documents, when you look at the indicators for this anti-tech violent extremism, among them you find things like observations, surveillance, photography, testing or probing of security, normal stuff, checking the source code of tech, or taking pictures of data centers. That's the type of thing that will put you and every journalist covering AI, putting all of you on a government terror list before you've had a chance to enjoy your second breakfast. And to me, the part that's going to break my brain here, the actual surveillance company that contracts with the Trump government to track all of you guys, Palantir. That name came on purpose. It's named after those cool but terrifying, those seeing stones, those orbs in Lord of the Rings, the same seeing stones that Sauron uses to corrupt and control anyone foolish enough to look into them. That is the name Palantir picked. They used that to tell us what they're about to do. We are living in a world where the surveillance state literally branded itself the Eye of Sauron, and the entire country shrugged. Look, the Trump regime is building the legal infrastructure to make your displeasure and protests against AI a domestic terrorism issue. And at least the Pope, with Gandalf on his shoulder, is calling all of this out. I'm not anti-tech, but we are anti-grift. We are anti-billionaire using the state to suppress the voice of the people. And we are very specifically anti-state senator quietly buying up the land next to the thing he just voted for. But if we are lucky, with AI, the AI ring goes into the fire. The land goes back to the people. And for politicians like Jay Morris, we need their careers to go on a one-way trip to the electoral equivalent of Mount Doom. And that, I hope, is enough to earn a comment, a share, or even hitting that notification icon, because even the smallest hobbit can help our content.